Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. Today we're taking a look at the new version of Herbaceous coming to Kickstarter. This is Herbaceous Sprouts. As soon as the campaign is live, which should be when this video is live, the link will be down below. Let's take a look at how it plays. Sounded like I was going to say something else then, but no. In Herbaceous Sprouts, you will be drafting from a choice of dice and tool cards, making a decision based on what you need most. After everyone has drafted a dice and a tool card, there'll be one card left which will dictate where the AI player, or the Devil Gardener as I call him, will play their Sprout token. The Wheelbarrow player card helpfully tells you what all the special tools do and has a place for you to put your flower pots, which act as a seed later on in the game. To place in the various plots, you need to match what is illustrated on the board. So up here we need at least 3 of a kind, but 6 of a kind gets you far more points. Here we need pairs of different types of seed, and up in the top right hand corner we need different seeds, and you'll always take the highest points if it's available, of course. Down in the bottom plot it is a little bit different. You need a flower seed and a shovel or a watering can with 2 of any other seed type. After that, the Devil Gardener will then plant as per the bottom of the card that was left. So here we see he goes in 2 pairs of different ones on the 2 spot, and he'll always take the highest if he can. Over the course of the game you will fill up the plots, trying to take the best scoring places. The person with the most points at the end wins. Herbaceous Sprouts might just be my favourite of the little box games from Pencil First Games so far. I really liked Herbaceous. I thought Sunset Over Water was good, but it didn't grab me the way Herbaceous did in terms of theme and mechanics. And Herbaceous Sprouts adds in dice rolling, which I love, dice drafting, which I love, and this kind of clever battle, almost area control-y battle for the board, where you're deciding between initially kind of saving up dice to get those big spots, or by going in as many times as you can and just planting. There's also the kind of race to get the 2-point bonus lemonade for planting in each garden first, which doesn't sound like much, but in the grand scheme of the game can be the difference between winning and losing. I really like that in the drafting you're not just choosing between different types of herb seeds. You're actually choosing between the herb seeds on a dice and the abilities that gives you. Now, early on in the game, I think you will naturally go for the card with the most dice on, and particularly in a 2-player game where you're only choosing between 3 cards and you know, ones with 1 or 2 dice come up and 1 with 3 on. You're generally going to go for that one at the start when the powers don't matter so much. But as the board starts to fill up, those choices become more difficult, and you find yourself going for the dice, for the ones with less dice, because you're actually specifically trying to get something, and that power will let you get that thing. What's also really clever in the 2 and 3 player game, and played 4 player, is the way the garden fights back. So whatever card is left will dictate which place on the board becomes overgrown. So you can factor that into your decision as well. That plays a big part in a solo game, which works really, really well. It's kind of one of those games where you're it's got kind of 2 levels of AI. You're fighting the Master Gardener and the Assistant Gardener, and your turns are slightly different depending on which one you do. But that bottom row is always going to determine where the Gardener plants. So you've kind of got that knowledge again about where they're going to go, or you can affect that, particularly when you have your go first. And it's really compelling and really challenging enough as well. And I like that the scores are not just on how high you get, but on how much you beat the Gardener by. So you're ranked on how far you get past them. And the solo works really, really well, and it's done by Keith, who did, I say Keith like I know him, I don't know him, it's just I don't want to pronounce his surname, quite frankly. Keith, who did Role Player, and it works super well. It still has the dice drafting elements and the choice, And the garden is, if anything, almost a bit more open initially because you're only playing against one other person, the AI, whereas in a two-player game against a person, you'd also have you'd have 3 lots of sprouts going out onto the board. So I think this works really well. I think it's one that I can teach my family. My wife will play it. It's good for game night as well as a filler in between. It's light enough but not without decisions because of that kind of 2-level drafting. Yeah, it's not the most strategic or deepest game in the world, but I just love drafting, and when you've got that extra element of drafting, again, similar to roleplay, where in roleplay you're drafting the dice, but also if you want to go to the shop first, this is the dice and the power. The dice are going to be more like the Star Wars Destiny dice, and they're already that kind of material, and they roll really well, and I think with the seeds picture of the herbs on them, they're going to look great. They're going to be fantastic. So yeah, I really like this one. That the rulebook is already in its current form, is really good, really clear, picked up really easily. The wheelbarrow doesn't just store your dice, the player mat doesn't just store your dice, but it has all the kind of things you need to know down the side about special powers. Done in a sensible way, the game flows, the game is fast, and it's one that I really like. So if you like Herbaceous, if you like dice drafting or drafting games, if you like kind of family-friendly filler games that will also go down well with game groups, then this is a good one to check out. So remember to check it out on Kickstarter on the link down below. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice, and we will see you next time.